See
I'm here.
Rachel.
Okay, so we are going to, everybody, if you are not muted, please mute yourselves now. And so I'm going to, we're going to do a little housekeeping to start with. I'm Fontel Jones and I own Great Yarns. And with me this morning is Carrie Adams. She has collaborated with me for years. You'll see us on the road doing shows together. She is has been in the industry longer than I have. So she has wonderful credentials. She's here. She'll be manning the chat today. She's going to model a little. We're going to do a couple little models from Universal Things. You can see in the background behind me, the things that you're looking at are all Universal models. Over in the corner, you'll see the lovely new mood leather pieces and so forth. So if there's anything behind me, it will all be on the website. And our website is really easy to navigate. Everything that Yanja and Rachel are going to show you today will be on the website. So please feel free to click back and forth and so forth. So having said that, you know how people always say it's a pleasure for me? It truly is a pleasure for me to introduce to you Yanja Ozbeli, who is the owner and one of the creative forces behind Universal Yarns, and her creative director, Rachel Brockman. They are going to tell you about what's new and exciting and spring-like from Universal Yarns. So we are going to switch over, and here is Yanja.
Hi, everybody. We started today a little bit with technical difficulties. Rachel's computer speakers were not working, but we fixed it. And we're so excited to be here with you, showing some wonderful creations that Rachel and her team came up with. And without further ado, we're going to start with our first yarn called Donina.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna switch to me because I've got the ball of Donina and then I have a bunch of garments to show. So Donina is our sport weight 100% superwash fine merino yarn. And this is a really saturated colored, bouncy, beautiful little yarn that's perfect for those transitional seasons. It creates lightweight garments that are great for springtime, great for, you know, a shawl for the summer. And we wanted to showcase this today because I have several really cute things in this yarn that I'd like to show you. So let's go ahead and get started with that. The first one is a really nice tee for this time of year, just a nice layering piece with a really interesting and fun construction. So this is the blueberry tee, and I'll step back here so you can see. And it's part of our Sweet Treats pattern collection. So the pattern collection, everything in it is color blocked, and we've played with different types of construction to do that. So this is a modularly constructed tee. And you start with this center lacy panel, and you do a little bit of neck shaping, but generally it's very straightforward. And you do the same thing for the backside. Get my little tag out of the way here. And then what you do is you pick up stitches along the side of that lace panel to create your sides. As you can see, it's a really beautiful lace pattern. So wrong side and right side lace worked here. So it's definitely an engaging pattern, but it's a short repeat, as you can see, so it's easy to memorize. And this one is meant to have like a nice, comfortable amount of ease. Wear it, you know, over a dress with a nice little tank top, really cozy. So that is the blueberry tee, 2 colors of Donina.
And then with the eyelets and everything, it's open. So it's perfect for this time of the year, with the little breeze coming through, especially for hot women like us. We're so,
you know, and it has like a bit of a dolman to this shape to the sleeve. I mean, it's still a short sleeve t-shirt, but it kind of creases out. And the armhole is quite open. So you have a lot of airiness for your arm as well.
Rachel, this is Carrie. Can you tell us the sizes that comes in?
Oh, sure. So almost all of the garments that we produce, with some exceptions, are sized generally from extra small or small up to 5X. And this one also is that extra small to 5X size. So we try to grade as broadly as we can. We want everyone to enjoy and wear our designs and enjoy and wear our yarns.
Cute, perfect name, Blueberry.
Yes, exactly. It's exactly what it looks like. So, okay, so next I have the lollipop pullover. And this is one of my designs. I'm just gonna like scooch it forward here. We've got it on a dress form so you can see a little bit more of the shape. So this is one of my designs. It's also one of my favorites from the collection. I just think it's fun and colorful. It mixes up different stitch patterns, different colors, and everything has a little twist. I mean, not truly a twist, but it's all twisted stitches. So on the body, you have one twisted stitch motif throughout the front and throughout the back. And then for the sleeves, we've gone with a slightly different motif. And then that's going to be worked in a contrast color. And you can really mix it up and do whatever colors you want. I love these sort of really poppy, springy colors. For me, it might have been a little too pastel, but by adding this cherry red pop of color around the collar, it just makes it really exciting and fun to wear. Because typically I think I would personally wear something a little more punchy, but the red really ties it together. You could do this in black, white, and gray. You could do this in really whatever colors suit your fancy. I'll turn it around here, tell you a little bit about the construction. So this is knit flat in pieces and seamed from the bottom up. And then you just assemble everything. The shoulders are joined with a 3-needle bind off, and you just pick up stitches for the neckband and work it in the round. Pretty straightforward. The one detail, let's see if I can scooch down here. It's one of my favorite details in garments. I don't know why, I just love a little split hem. And the nice thing about seamed garments is you can keep that or get rid of it so easily. So because it's seamed, all I've done is just let that piece open, unsewn. But if you prefer yours to be closed, simply seam it together. So that is the lollipop cardigan.
Rachel, this is really cute. The detail on the design is adorable, and this would be also fabulous in one color for those of us a little more
True.
One color, the armhole could be just a little deeper, and that slit, which I love, could be just a little higher.
Yeah,
So it
absolutely.
gives you a little more ease, but this is darling.
Yeah, you know, and you could also, for a more dramatic effect, if you really like the split, you could even do a high-low hem, and just, since the shaping is pretty simple, you can just, you know, work and maybe an additional repeat of the
longer
motif. Yeah. So,
very pretty.
right.
I'd like to encourage people, if they have any questions as these models are coming up, to unmute yourself and ask the question or send a question in the chat.
We'd love to hear if you have any comments or questions.
Yeah, and I mean, if you have want to know about color suggestions, we love answering those kinds of questions too. So
I believe Donina comes in 20 colors at least.
I believe so, yeah. So, okay, so following up on our Sweet Treats collection, we've got a cardigan. I think there are a few things more essential for spring than a nice lightweight cardigan. You get a little chilly when, I don't know, the air conditioner kicks on or there's a spring breeze in the air. You can just pop on a little cardigan, and it helps when it's very fine and lightweight. So sticking with the color blocking theme, Aubrey Busek designed the confectionery cardie. This is a really pretty simple, mostly stockinette stitch garment. And where the fun comes in really is in the color blocking. So I'm going to do a little twirl around so you can see. But you can see we have contrast color cuffs. And
In
then,
blue. Yeah.
yes. Then this sleeve is one color. This is one of the second contrast colors. Front and bottom here, we've got another color block, contrast hem. On the other side, It's a little bit different. So, and then the back is just like that nice contrast on the raglan, which I really like for the sleeves. So,
Well, this is such a lovely, fun color cardigan. Everybody in the office loves to wear it. So we have, we have to schedule ourselves. Like,
Oh my God,
yes.
it's Aubrey's turn. Tuesday, it's Yonca's turn.
it's so
And
cute.
I have to say, if you haven't done this in knitting before, installing a zipper on a garment is so much fun. I love doing it, and I love that Aubrey had this little detail. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera here, but this is a rainbow zipper.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
And I think this just goes to show that one of those great things about knitting is you can customize it however you want. You find that cute fancy zipper, use it. So and also going back to the magic of this cardigan is definitely in the color blocking. It's definitely in having fun. You could get funky and add more colors. You could make this whole front piece a different color than this side. And so there's so many ways you could continue to play with this. As I said before, simple construction with this one. It is all stockinette stitch and some ribbing for your placket and for your cuffs and hems. And then there's no intarsia. So this is just changing a color. It's as simple as it gets. So really a nice simple way to have a lot of impact in your garment.
This again is so cute. And for me, because I'm a little whiter at the bottom, we'll pretend that this is Fontel and not Carrie. I would do black at the bottom border and a light color on top. I love that wider neck. This is so cute, Rachel.
Yeah, the wide neck is great for spring too. Just like gives you a little more of that air. So
very cute.
Cool.
Yeah, the boat necks are actually a lot more flattering than anybody think about. It really it's not too high, it's not too low. It's I think perfect height.
Yeah. All right. So again, this is the confectionery cardigan, and that is part of our Sweet Treats collection. I'm just going to keep it on while I talk here and introduce you to one of the next pieces. And again, this is one of those collections where we've tried to look at interesting different ways to add color blocking. In the blueberry tea, it was modular. We have a little bit of modular construction coming into this next piece that I'm going to show you, which is the cotton candy shawl. So it's kind of a monster shawl. It's quite large. And this one, as you can see here, there's a nice big mitered square in the center. So I just kind of designed this one playing off the idea of starting with the square and then working decreases on each side of that square. Just sort of playing around of different ways to get triangular shaped shawls that aren't your straightforward garter tab and work your way from the top down. So if we come in, so you start with this square here, starting in the center, or I'm sorry, starting here on the widest end and decreasing down to this point. And you just do a couple of quick garter color changes. It's all garter stitch. And then each wing of the shawl is picked up afterwards. So then you pick up stitches along one side of the mitered square to work your way out for the first wing, which is quite long and dramatic. And you're decreasing every 4 rows for this section. And it's just tipped with a bit of blue. And then on the second side, the wing is smaller and you're decreasing every 2 rows after you pick up stitches along here. So it creates this sort of right triangle. There's like a little notch in the center. So it's not like a perfectly straight line, but just a really fun, impactful cardigan. And what fun, or not a cardigan, a shawl. But what fun is that without seeing what it's like worn? So as you can see, if I step around, you have some nice lines created just draped over your shoulders. And this is coming, I'm about, you can't see my feet, I'm about 5'7", and it comes down to about my knees on the long end here. So it drapes over nicely. The other one comes down maybe mid-thigh. So if you just wear it drapey, it's just nice and loose.
Can you take a step back towards next to the
I don't think
mannequin?
I can, if I
I
just,
don't think that we can see it, but at least, you know.
yeah. So as you can see, there's not that much. Yeah. And I love the drape that Donina has. It's so lightweight and it is so easy to wear for springtime. Personally, I love wearing my shawls kind of bunched up toward the front. So this is nice when the weather's a little bit chillier.
Yeah, that's the perfect accessory to accessorize your plain t-shirt.
Yes, yeah, well, that's
day.
Exactly. And one final detail to add a nice edging, a nice professional finish on this. You do pick up stitches and then immediately bind off on the edges using the dark blue contrast color. And that's just to keep those edges nice and refined. So you can see that creates the line on each side.
So this is Donina 100% extra fine merino. And I checked, it comes in 25 colors. So
let's
sky is limit. Sky is your limit to play with the colors.
Right. Does anyone have any questions about our Sweet Treats collection or Donina yarn or any of the garments that we showed? Nope.
Nope.
All right. Well, Yamja, I'm going to let you introduce Ravello since you are wearing.
Yes, but you have the yarn.
Oh, I do have the yarn. Okay. Well, I'm just going to quickly, don't mind me, I'm changing out of this cardigan because it's quite warm.
Well, I can talk about Ravello. Ravello is our one of our Italian yarns that we get it made in Italy. It is 75% cotton, 16% extra fine merino, and 9% recycled cashmere. And I am wearing one of the pieces from the collection, but we're gonna get there after we introduce you the first one. It comes in 50-gram balls and it has 207 yards. So it's a very fine yarn. It is dream to work with. Right now, all three of us, Aubrey, me, and Rachel, have something on our needles with Ravello. So more designs are coming, is gonna come to your way with this yarn. And it comes in 16 colors. Right now, some of them are heathery and some of them are solid. So right now I'm wearing a solid color piece. And the first piece that Rachel is gonna show you is Rivette, which is using one of the heathery colors.
Yeah, and you know, I have to say this yarn is easily one of my favorite yarns we've introduced into the line in the last couple of years. I absolutely love it. I've made several garments with it. And this, I'll keep this on the hanger. This is one of the first garments I made with this yarn. And this is Rivette. So I just, when I went to design something with this yarn, I wanted it to be seasonably appropriate. I wanted it to be a bit drapey, comfortable, and really just show off the beauty of the yarn. I'm gonna get up close so you can really see the depth and richness of this color. And what's really lovely about Ravello is it's mostly cotton, but that cashmere and extra fine merino give it this subtle halo, which I think is going to be hard to show on screen, but I promise you it's there. And so Rivette is a simple little tank top. The front and back are worked exactly the same. It features sort of gartered ridge stockinette through the body, and then the front and back have a center panel made of some cables and lace and a nice twisted stitch right in the center. And then what I really like about it, perhaps my favorite detail, is that the neck, when you go to separate the front, left and right front, the neck shaping, the cable just continues right along it. It's It's right along the edge, framing your neck. So it's like a little cabled necklace, cabled neckband. And it is knit flat in pieces. And so you have a nice, once you sew it together, you have a nice little side seam decoration that I quite love. So again, you just have those twisted stitches and some lace. It's a really rhythmic pattern. I have to say, as a designer, I think my favorite kinds of projects and the favorite kinds of designs are the ones that are interesting. They're not boring, but they're also really soothing. And I think perhaps everyone could agree with this, is in the year of COVID, in the past year, difficult for a lot of people. So I've found myself increasingly drawn to meditative types of knits. And this is that sweet spot for me. So again, front and back are the same. And really the magic here is this cabled neckline and beautiful side seam.
And as you can see, Rachel also chose not to seam it all the way down. So it's a
that's
little
true,
opening.
Yeah. Just it is my preference. Almost all of the sweaters that I make for myself, even if it's not written this way, I tend to just add this little tiny split. I guess you could say it's my signature. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, we can definitely say that.
Yeah. So, and Riviette, just like most of our other garments, is sized extra small through 5X.
Okay, so now Rachel is going to talk about what I am wearing while I'm showcasing it to
The
you.
spotlight on Yanja here.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to show my face, so you can see the whole thing.
Okay, so I guess around the time we introduced Ravello, Yanja came to the office and she had just this picture of a ready-to-wear sweater that she really liked, and it was a very different sweater. It had long sleeves and it might have even had a turtleneck, but you know, I kind of knew that wasn't going to be appropriate for this yarn, but she loved the cream color and the dark green and some of the interesting details. So I took some inspiration from that, and I wanted to make something that was going to show the yarn beautifully, be fun to knit, and easy to wear. And so Serafina was born. So this is a seamless in the round raglan t-shirt, and it begins with the bottom. And I chose to do that so that we could make sure that the scallops created by the feather and fan lace motif stay there. So the bottom is nice and scalloped. And then it's just broken up with little bands of stripes, a little bit of color work, and sort of repeats that lace and striped motif. So not, the stitch pattern itself is something that knitters have known and loved for a long time, but it's just kind of a new play on it. And it has an A-line shaping. So then you work up to the armholes and cast on those sleeve stitches, and you'll work in the round. So the neckline and the sleeve, they also have a little feather and fan. So there's just a little bit of wave to those and a little bit of laciness too.
I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's definitely there.
It's easier to see in person. Of course, some of these things on camera don't catch as well. Yanja's been dying for one of these of her own, and I haven't gotten my sample knitter to make her one yet because I'm always asking them to knit other things for upcoming yarns, but she's always busy knitting for other people. Otherwise, I'm sure she would have had one of
these days. I'm gonna make this.
Yes.
Maybe right after what I'm working on right now.
Rachel, this is a perfect little summer tee, and you know it would be great with just little 3/4 length sleeves.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it would be perfect. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, just imagine arms are coming a little bit longer.
Mhm.
It's just lovely. I like short sleeve t-shirts even during winter because you can always layer it with a cardigan and when you're, warm, because let's face it, some of the places we go is hot. They crank up the heater a lot, so you can take it off. You still have a nice little t-shirt underneath you, which keeps you warm. And then if you get cold, just put a nice cardigan on it.
That's really cute. Really cute. Any questions? Anybody? Thank you, Yanja.
You're welcome.
We have one more garment in Ravello to show, and Fontel and Carrie, you actually have that one. It is the Siri shawl behind you. So I don't know if you want to grab that and we can chat about it a little bit. There are kits available for this shawl, but Siri is a boomerang shaped shawl. So it is knit on the bias, starting with the skinny tip and then working its way to the widest edge. It features garter stitch stripes in 2 contrasting colors, and that's broken up with some meditative lace knitting. I personally think Ravello looks amazing in lace. It just, fine yarns tend to, but there's something about that halo that it has. It makes it very ethereal. And as you can see, the drape in this yarn is beautiful. That shawl really shows what this yarn can do.
Absolutely gorgeous. I want Rachel, talk about this little edging too.
This is another Rachel favorite. You will see this detail in another shawl later. So I have always found a knitted picot bind off to be a little fiddly. It's not my favorite. So what I've done here is it's just a crochet. So you bind off your stitches normally, and then you use the contrast color and do a crochet picot edging, which is super simple. So even if you're not familiar with crochet, I promise it's easy. It's a good baby step into it. And that edging lines the entire border.
And I think the edging that you created coming out of the garter stitch stripes, I love that as well. So it
Because
gives
it just sort of staggers.
it's fabulous. And then it repeats itself as you come down. The details in this are just lovely. And the drape is amazing. You can just tell by the way that you can handle it that this is just an extraordinary piece. It's just beautiful.
Don't back up too much.
Okay,
Model that shawl.
there we go.
So many different ways of wearing this.
Yeah, you can highlight, you can highlight the lace work, you can highlight the garter stitch stripe.
Yeah.
It's just breathtaking. Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
It's a lot of different ways.
This has gotten a little bit of wear since it's been visiting Great Yarns.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm very glad to hear it. Because we love when our garments get to travel. So, it's always nice to get them out in the world to be seen and touched and felt. And I mean, I know we're not doing as much of that these days as we can, but we're happy to have it, or for you to have it.
There we go.
So note on the Siri shawl. So this is available as kits on the Great Yarns website. And I just wanted to show you, so all of the colors of Ravello are available, so you can sort of pick and choose what you like. But we have 2 color suggestions that we think would look quite nice. So we have one that we're calling Ivy, and let's see if I can cover so you can get a better idea. It has a sage, this green is called Sage Leaf, and it's a sort
It's
of
like a
minty, but it has some, the way that the dye was taken, the different fibers take the dye, it has sort of the heathered effect that Riviette does, just much softer and more pastel. And then the bottom here is Nori, and that's a rich hunter green. That's the same green that is in the Serafina top that Yanja was wearing. So this is one version of the kit. And then I went with the traditional, black and gray scale. You can't go wrong with that for the second one. So we went with Feather Pillow, which is just a nice smoky gray. And then Midnight, which is black, but it has maybe a hint of like bluishness to it. So it's like a very cool black, I would say. So those, if you don't want to sort of fiddle around with picking your colors, you have 3 options available, the one that Fontel showed, and then the 2 that I just showed you here. So
We want to remind
they can-
everybody to go to the website, www.greatyarns.com. You can see all of these on that site. They come in kits, they're listed there, so we hope you'll visit. Thank you, Rachel.
of course. And then next we're going to move into sort of more of a let's really dive into summer territory yarn. Our best-selling yarn, Bamboo Pop, and Yanja has the ball of this yarn, so I'll let her talk a little bit about this.
So Bamboo Pop is our 50% cotton, 50% bamboo yarn. It is one of everybody's favorites. Since we introduced this yarn to the market, it never failed. I always tell the same story. I accidentally shipped this yarn to a customer in Wisconsin in the middle of the winter. She actually ordered Bamboo Bloom, and we shipped her Bamboo Pop. So she called me and she said, I needed the wool yarn, not the cotton yarn. We are in the middle of winter. So we said, okay, return it back to us. Don't worry about it. And then 2 days later, she said, I sold it all. Just send me more of Bamboo Pop. People don't realize it's winter outside. They want to knit with this. So this is a great yarn to knit with. It's so nice when you're knitting on your hands. It creates excellent garments. It comes in 36 solid colors and 22 multicolors, and it has 6 colors that has just dots on it. It is a DK weight 292 yards. Creates wonderful drapes, wonderful garments. We have so many that Fontal has, some of them, but the possibilities are endless with this yarn. So I'm gonna turn to Rachel because she's wearing, well, not yet.
I'm gonna show a different one. Yeah.
Yes, not yet. We're gonna show you first the Maya tank, which was designed by Amy Gunderson. And I personally love this tank top because it is like a striped tank top, but it is not. So go ahead, Rachel, show them.
Yeah, I think that is a pretty good description of this one. And it also has just some really nice touches. So what Amy's done here is she's played with color, stripes, and texture. And I love that about Amy's design. She's so playful and so thoughtful about everything that she does. I've learned so much from her, and I'm so glad that she's left her footprint on the company. So here we have just some garter stripes into punchy colors. And then she transitioned right into that classic black and white. Did someone have a question? I thought I heard something. Okay, so we've got some slip stitches here to interrupt these stripes of black. And then she has another slip stitch texture that you can see in this solid white section as well. So it just makes those stripes a little more interesting. It gives them depth. It gives you something to focus on and be interested in as you're working on the garment. And then if we pull back, you can see it's just got kind of a classic shape. You could wear this as a vest or just as a tank top and sleeveless. It's got a nice V-neck. And then one of my favorite little details is the shoulders have buttons. So, you don't need to unsnap these, but it's just a nice design touch that's interesting. And I'm wearing a tank top now, but I will pop this up over top of it and see. It'll give you an idea for shape. So again, don't mind that I'm wearing a tank top under this, but you can see it comes down. It's a nice summery cut, sort of caps, the sleeves sort of cap right over your shoulder. And you can see the buttons much more clearly now. And I'm gonna stand back so you can see the back. And this piece is knit flat and seamed, except obviously you're not seaming these shoulders because you're adding cute little buttons and buttonholes to them. So, yeah.
And I think the different color at the bottom is making it looks much more nicer, and also I think flatters the shape of the t-shirt and any body shape. I think
it's interesting too because the bottom is garter stitch, and it just flares because garter stitch is wider than the slip stitches. There's sort of a natural, not significant A-line, but there's almost a natural flutter to the bottom hem of this. and then everything kind of sucks in a little bit for the waistline, which is like a nice detail. Yeah. So, okay, we can move on to the right turn shawl. I have two versions of that to show you today. Yandra has one and I have the other. Yandra, do you mind showing your version while I slip off this tank top? Okay, great.
Here is the first version of the shawl. I can't see anything.
What are you doing?
So, hold on, let me do this so I can look at the screen and see. So it's a regular triangular shawl. And it uses 3 different colors of bamboo pop. You have the solid color, you have the dots, which is right here, the solid, and then
There's
you
no
have-
multis in this one, 2
Yes.
solids.
2 solids, and then you have this solid as well. As you can see, I didn't study my lesson last night.
So,
But it is a nice shape.
yeah, I really like the use of the bamboo pop dots here, as it gives you a nice speckled effect in there and bright colors, but they're on that background of white. So it's just kind of subtle, and you can really mix and match the colors that you choose to pair this with. So the sample that Yandra's wearing is more pinks and very springtime, very fresh and bright. It reminds me of strawberries and raspberries. And so it's a really lovely one for the time of year. I'm wearing the original sample, and I'll pull it out so you can see the full triangle as well. But if you guys want to give the camera attention to me, I can show you. Okay. So yeah, so just kind of wearing it as a bandana. This is the original sample, which is in a graphite purple and then the purple dots as well. And so you can see it's kind of just a cute, comfortable, not oversized triangles. A lot of the shawls we've shown you so far today are quite large. This one is sort of a more standard shawl size. And
What is the name of this shawl again?
this is the right turn shawl. And this one was also designed by Amy Gunderson. And there you go. So this is, again, sort of utilizing slip stitches, garter stripes, just texture, so to make this yarn sort of just shine. And one of the nicest thing about bamboo pop is because of that bamboo cotton, it has just a lovely drape. It feels so cool and comfortable to wear. It is truly a summertime favorite around here. Give you some close-ups there.
And as you can see, this is Amy's trademark. She loves gray, anything in gray.
Yeah, this one is definitely like the cooler, like more like a hyacinth, I guess.
Yeah. And then if you're a warmer color person, you can go with the one that I'm wearing.
And then one design detail that I want to highlight is Amy has an I-cord edging that goes all the way around this shawl. So bottom, side, goes the whole way across. And that really gives this a nice polished finish.
I just love both of these colors.
12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26,
Somebody needs to unmute them so
30,
get them.
32, 34, 36.
Whoever's counting, mute yourself.
That's Jeannie who's counting.
Yeah, it is.
This is
I
really
count
cute.
those stitches.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, so this is the right turn shawl. It combines bamboo pop dots, bamboo pop solids, and really you could play with this as much as you want in any color variation. And then that brings me to the number 1 pullover. And so Yandra mentioned that bamboo pop has multis as well, and not most of our projects today either feature the solids The right turn shawl really does a good job of showing the dots. I love this pullover for how it shows the multis, and I am going to pop this on just because it's one of those pullovers that you really need to see it on to do it justice. So, okay, so let's step back here. This is another Amy Gunderson design. This is the #1 pullover. So this is one of those very boxy, oversized pullovers that has a nice short fitted sleeve, 3/4 length sleeve. So it's kind of just sort of like wearing a lightweight blanket. It's drapey, it's swingy. You can see the swing.
It's very flattering on anybody.
And yeah, and this has done really well. I mean, some of what we're showing you today are like oldies but goodies, because this pattern has been around for a little while, but it has been well loved by our customers, and it's really easy to see why. I mean, so let's see here. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you that I just think is the magic and genius of this pullover. So our multis they're short color changes in the multi yarn. And so what Amy's done by creating this wide stripe on this, it's knit flat and seamed, and that's going to give you structure that you're definitely going to need on a garment that's made of bamboo and cotton, and that has sort of this much fabric to it. But anyway, because she's done this wide stripe, you can see each of those color changes across that singular row. That is the yarn doing the work. You don't have to do anything. And what I think is really cool is this pulling effect. You can actually see the red sort of go in this angle. Same with the
great.
So
Rachel, I have a question.
absolutely.
Sorry, we have a car screaming by. Do the colors raisin and khaki girl go together, do you think? For the top?
I'm trying, khaki girl is the multi, right, Yanja? Yeah, she is a color card. Yanja can do.
Yanja, that's a question for you then, because we have this in the chat and someone is just wanting to know.
I love that question. Yanja has the color cards in front of her.
Raisin and khaki girl.
Yeah.
Khaki girl and raisin.
Mhm. Where is she?
I think they definitely can go together well. But if she likes the raisin more, I think they are fine. But the raisin I can also go with the blueberry swirl or fairy tale as well. But hold on, let me show you my color card. Here is the khaki girl. Oops. This is the khaki girl. So it has some pinks, some purple, and some like taupe color. And this is the raisin.
I think that raisin could tone down some of the more punchy colors in khaki girl, like just a little bit. And now, not seeing it in person, I can't say definitively. We do have some pinks and purples in the Bamboo Pop palette that are going to be a more direct pair for that color. So when we are developing these colors, often what we're doing is pulling in the multi, we're pulling from the solids so that we can get really closely coordinating colors. So I think that could look really lovely together. I think what it'll do is just tone the purples and the pinks in that color khaki girl are a little more like punchy. And I think it would just tone that down a little bit. It would probably play nicely with the like taupe color that's in there. Would you agree with that, Yanja?
Yeah, I think so. It is hard to see from.
Thanks for your question.
Yeah, thank you. We love answering stuff, so ask away. So going back to the #1 pullover, and it is one of our #1 selling bamboo pop patterns. The multi also does a really nice job on this I-cord edging that is along the neckline. And so again, it just, this short color changes. This feature is also on the sleeves. And you can see on the sleeves, there's a broken ribbing, and that still has the stripes, but it just gives it a slightly different fun effect. And then the hem on the bottom is given the same treatment, except that the broken garter rib is a solid color.
Rachel, you know, they could do that same edging could be done on a plain solid sweater. That edging is just adorable. I love how the color translates across. It's just adorable. So yeah, that could be a cute edge on any number of things.
Yeah, it is just such a clever way to use the multis, and really shows what it can do. And I think
It really is. Yeah.
it's a sophisticated way of showing it too. This
Yeah.
is a very sophisticated garment.
Rachel, I'm also going to do a time check with you, just so you know, we have 10 minutes. And so for everybody who is out there and would like to ask questions of anything that we've shown, this is kind of a moment as Rachel goes on to kind of pick through what she'd like to show in our 10 minutes. So
Yeah,
Can you show the Donina, the mitered square shawl again?
absolutely.
And how big is that square in the back?
So the square is, I would say, probably like 16 to 20 inches, probably like 16 inches for the square.
Okay.
No, no.
Oh, Perseus.
And then see if I can.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So it's really big.
It is very big. One thing I would say is, like, you could easily modify this by just changing, you could cast
you are.
fewer stitches for your square.
So you want
And
this
then
up
you
too?
can just sort of adjust how long you're working each color. Because at the end of the day, all you're doing on one side of the wing is picking up the number of stitches that you need to here, which is just going to be like one, all the garter bumps on this side of the shawl. And then one side, you're just decreasing every 2 rows. The other side, you're decreasing every 4.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it just to create different shaped wings in the shawl, give it that asymmetry, but it also makes it fairly easy to customize.
this kit is so
Thank you.
reasonable too. Very reasonably priced.
Right.
Okay,
So
so
I'm
Yeah.
wearing it now, so I'll go ahead and show Dipsis, and then we'll bump to Yanja really quick so you can show your beautiful sweater. I think it's a good showstopper. So I am wearing the top called Dipsis. This is from our most recent bamboo pop collection called Modern Mosaic. This is a pretty straightforward top. It's the most simple of all the pieces in the collection, which I know some people have felt intimidated by the amount of mosaic that's in it. So this one is like a mosaic taster. So it's knit seamlessly from the bottom up. And you have this mosaic motif that goes around the hemline, front and back. And it's got like a nice wide neck. But my favorite part is the shoulders, where you just have that same mosaic motif carried up on each side. And it's got a nice little drop in the back. So it's just a really nice, cool, airy springtime tank top. And with that, Yanja, you should show off yours because it's stunning.
So I'm wearing the Areca. They named it Areca sweater.
It's gorgeous.
So it is a simple herringbone stitching. all the way from bottom up. I did the hem with the garter stitch so that it won't curl, and then white and black all the way up. And then when you come to finish line, you just change it to little squares of the whites popping up through the black. And it is completed on both sides. When I was designing the sweater, I was showing it to my husband, my little swatch, and it had this part and this part together. So I was like, okay, should I do the mosaic like this or this? And he said, they look great together, so you should combine it all together. So hence this design was born. I usually gauge my work, but unfortunately, after I gauge and it was a big piece and I knit up my sweater, I realized I knitted up a little bit too small. So I added up these side panels to the work. And how I did was, after I finished and I did the 3 needle bind off on the shoulders, I picked up all the stitches from the side to the back and just did a regular garter stitching from both sides, and then did a 3 needle bind off in the middle. And that actually gives us a really sharp change in color, which enhances the whole herringbone pattern even more, I think. So it was an unintentional mistake from my part, which enhanced the whole design aspect of this project.
Well, it looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So in terms of time, I just want to show, since Carrie is wearing this, and this is gonna we're gonna jump yarns quickly, just from you know, knowing our time is cut a little short here, or it's coming to a close quickly. So we have this scarf. It's called the Scruncher scarf. This one was also designed by Amy Gunderson, and it was one of the first garments that I saw, you know, we came out with whenever I started working here, and I immediately fell in love with it because it is it's big, but it's called the Scruncher scarf for good reason. It's scrunchy. It's made of just drop stitches, and it's 2 of our yarns, Whisper Lace and Cotton Supreme Batik. And so Cotton Supreme Batik is where all the drop stitches are, and it is a self-striping yarn. So you can see that it's just doing all of the work for you. And it is broken up with just little sections of Whisper Lace, which is a lace weight wool silk blend from our Fibra Natura line. And it just creates, I love this thing. It's perfect for spring and summer. Drapes beautifully. And it comes, there's so many colors that you can pick from. We have the colors that you see here kitted up, and then Carrie is wearing hers, so she can show that off.
Really fun.
And actually mine goes really well with what I'm wearing. This is the perfect way to wear it. Bamboo pop, Scruncher scarf.
Yeah, you can just keep on going.
Yep,
Too
ready
much
for the day.
No, it's
Isn't
so
that
cute.
darling when it's tied around your
And
neck?
it's so lightweight.
Yes. Yeah, it feels just feather weight, and I love that because it's just gets so big, it's so stretchy.
Rachel, our webmaster, took one look at this and said, I have to have that one.
Yeah, I immediately fell in love with this one.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Thank you. That's a great piece.
Of course. So would you say we have time for a couple more? Do we want?
Sure. How about Sable?
Oh yes. Okay. So this is sort of jumping back to our bamboo pop conversation.
I think the stitching in this is absolutely gorgeous.
It is a showstopper. And earlier I mentioned that Dipsys was the simplest of the patterns in this. By construction, by shape, this pattern is very simple. It is basically a rectangle that gets split in two, because it is like a jacket poncho, and I will put this on. Just let me get situated here. But it is part of our modern mosaic collection, and it was designed by Aubrey Busek, who's one of our current designers. And it is just this sort of cover up, beautiful statement piece that is just absolutely stunning. The mosaic work in this is beautiful. You will be a mosaic knitting pro by the time you are finished.
Love
And
that.
you can see it's just a nice, simple shape, but drapes beautifully.
That's beautiful, Rachel. It's beautiful on you.
Thank you. So here's a nice close-up you can get of that mosaic pattern. And then what Aubrey did to just really tidy up the finish on this is we've got a nice I-cord edging in the darker color across the front edges here. And then garter edges that kind of create this seam. As you can see, the armhole is very deep. And yes, it's so simple in silhouette, but the design is show-stopping and it's so comfortable. And this is really a piece to show for summer.
And it is called Sabal.
Sabal, yeah. All of the pieces in this collection are named after different types of palm trees. So
As
very-
people are starting to leave, Fontel and I would like to thank everyone for coming.
Yes.
I know that Yanja and Rachel also would like to thank everyone for coming. Your
absolutely.
designs have been absolutely gorgeous. They've been fresh and wonderful. And we thank everyone. Please go to the website. The kits are on there. They're very, very reasonable. And we're going to let Rachel continue with a couple more things, but we wanted to say goodbye.
Yes, if you have to go,
If you're leaving, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
but we're going on for a bit. All right, Rachel.
I'm happy to. So, all right. So next up, we'll go with the last piece in that collection, which is also designed by Aubrey, and this is Palmetto. This is another monster piece. It's like a monster masterpiece. So it's got lots of mosaic knitting, some stripes, and a different mosaic knitting pattern here on the end. So it's a very large stole. Aubrey did write this for a smaller size as well. It includes the solids and then one of the multis, and you can see the different, especially when I step back, the variation in color here for that multi. The first mosaic edge also uses the multi, and it's kind of neat to see how that multi works up in the mosaic stitch pattern. It is finished with cute little tassels on each side.
I've done most.
And this is just, you know, another one of those very easy toss it on. I would definitely, like for summertime, I would say this is the thing to wear with like a tank top dress. I wouldn't wear as many layers as I'm currently wearing for the summer, but I still look fabulous.
You do look fabulous.
So yeah, for this one, I like to just kind of like, you know, wrap it around once and let it drape, and it's quite long. I'm a little uneven here, but it's beautiful. And this one is 3 colors of bamboo pop. So I do have a couple of more things I would really love to share. So if you guys are sticking around, that would be awesome. And I'm gonna sort of undress. And Yanja, can you grab your silver blossom tea and introduce that?
So we designed for a Bamboo Pop Kids collection. Amy designed the silver blossom tea for the little girls, and everybody loved it so much. I asked her if she can make the same pattern in a bigger version for mommies to wear. So she did this in radiant cotton, which is 100% cotton. It is gas, so the colors are very vibrant. Here I made mine in like a salmon color. And of course, Amy did the original one in a gray color, which Rachel is gonna show in a bit, I think.
I am.
So
I'm gonna
it-
put it on a body.
okay, so it has the little lace pattern on top, and it continues in the back as well. And it is an A-line top. So if you have a heavier bottom like me, it is perfect. And the arms are a little bit off the shoulder arms. Of course, Amy's, I made mine a little bit bigger than Amy's, so
This way you can really
can
see how
see-
it fits on the body.
yeah. I'm trying to see if I can put it on really.
So this is the original gray version. You can, especially on the dress form, you can really see how beautiful that lace motif is. It's sort of like lace leaves coming around the yoke. Circular yokes are always just a fun playground for different lace and color work and cable motif. So I love that she incorporated lace here. And as Amy said, as Yanja said, that it does have A-line shaping, which you can see here, which is those decreases set in the center. And there's not short row shaping on this one, so the front and back is the same. So the front will hit you a little bit higher on your neck, then it'll scoop a little more in the back than say a yoke that has some short row shaping to lift the back neck. But of course, that's something you could add if you wished.
And I'm wearing mine now, so you
Oh,
can
Sandra,
see.
that looks fabulous on you.
And then the A-line shaping. So I tend to wear my t-shirts a little bit longer. So I made mine longer than Amy's. But everything else is the same.
Really cute, very summery.
Yeah, and that's made with our Radiant Cotton, which is a 100% Egyptian mercerized cotton yarn. And although it's worsted weight, it's very cool and comfortable to wear. It's great for those quick knit summer projects. I mean, this is a short sleeve yoke tee, so knit in a worsted weight yarn, that's gonna fly off your needles in no time at all. So
Okay, and then one more.
yes. Yanja is wearing another top in Radiant Cotton, and this is the graphite tank. So this one plays a little bit with that gradient where she's got black, white, or black, a charcoal gray, like a smoky gray or icy gray, and then white. So the hem just features some really lovely lace. And then it's got a nice sweet A-line shape.
And
nice
just
shoulder
like-
coverage. Yeah.
I love
Just
the
very-
lace at the top. I love that it's thigh length. And again,
Yes.
it would be adorable with like 3/4 length sleeves.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
So cute.
You know, and speaking about Radiant Cotton, I have on what's called my poncho. And this is one big rectangle with just neck shaping.
And it's amazing. It looks beautiful.
And it's just fun. You can just throw it on. And I'll get a little closer. You can see the stitch.
Is that just a knit purl stitch pattern on there?
It's a bit of a ribbed stitch.
Rib stitching, cool.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's just easy as can be. And you just get this, I just throw this on and wear it all the time. So I've not chosen to, but I could also put a little button here to define my armhole. I could even have taken a little tack in here so that, again, it just is how you want to wear it. But just know, it's just a wonderful rectangle that makes a great little topper. So it's easy to wear and easy to knit. And again, Radiant Cotton gives you that wonderful little sheen of the cotton finish. So it really shows the stitch as well. Easy to wear.
Yes, very easy.
Beautiful. All right, well, if we're still squeezing in more, I am happy to share. I have two more things, I believe, that I would like to show. And we'll start with one that's definitely available right now. This is another triangular shawl in our very light featherweight henna yarn. This yarn is a blend of baby Surrey alpaca, merino, and nylon, and it is a lace weight, great as a carry along. And this is just a nice graphic shawl that's very simple to knit. And you know, sort of to steal Fontel's words, simple to knit, easy to wear. It is really lovely. This is a good multi-season yarn because although the yarn is a bit on the wintry side, it's so lightweight that during those chillier days of spring, it's perfect. You're not going to be uncomfortable or too hot. So as you can see, looks beautiful coming down the back. We've got lines. So we start with the solid gray, and then we our stripes get thicker and thicker. Then we have a nice gold bold stripe, followed by the black stripe and the gold trim. It's just a little pop of color. I know so many people who just love black and white all the time. I'm definitely someone who likes color. So even when I go black and white or black and gray, I add a little color in there because that is just me. So yeah, it's just a really easy, cozy shawl, and it's so lightweight. This yarn is great for carrying along with other yarns, but I think the magic of the Harlow shawl, I think I might have forgotten to mention the name, but that's what this is just that it's so lightweight, it's so drapey and so comfortable to wear. So this is the Harlow shawl, and this is knit in henna. Fontel, I think you said that you liked this one, correct?
Nope, that's mine. This is Carrie. Just mail it to me right now.
Yeah.
And care of me, because it really is my favorite too.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm so glad you squeezed that in. I just adore that piece.
mine.
If you want, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Done.
I have one piece to show that's like a sneak peek. The pattern's not available yet. It will be available on Friday, but Fontel has the yarn on her site. So if you like it, you can stock up now.
Oh, this is a little treat for all of you that hung in there to the very
Yes.
end.
Yay!
Yay.
Yay.
So this is a very sort of seasonably colored, it's like a spring day shawl. This is called Welkin, and sort of reminds me of springtime clouds on, sunny days. This is knit with our Nymph yarn, and I will show you that while I just drape this over my shoulders, and then I'll get back to the shawl. So Nymph is unbelievably, to me, an 84% cotton yarn with a little bit of nylon in there. So just cotton and nylon, and it has this amazing soft halo. It feels like a kitten. When we first got this yarn and we were sort of deciding, like, do we bring it on or not, it was like sitting by my desk, and frequently I would just touch it and pet it. It's so lovely. So here's just another, so you can easily see it's got a nice halo to it, but it's cotton, so it feels lightweight. It feels springtime ready, and it's so soft. So Welkin is a crescent shaped shawl that just features some really nice springy sort of nautical stripes, a nice lace edging, and then I mentioned earlier that you would see it again, but this is a crochet picot border. If you're really averse to doing a crochet picot border, you could do a picot bind off knitting, but I prefer this one. So it's a really soft Nymph. Clearly, as you can see, it has lovely drape. And yeah, so this is going to be a free pattern that will become available next week, but Fontel has the yarn, so you can sort of stock up and be ready for the pattern when it comes out.
How many?
How many balls?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, off the top of my head, that would be good for you to know. I'll shoot you an email after after this. Didn't think that far ahead. So yes, I'll shoot you an email after you get off here.
Okay. This,
That's everything.
Rachel, this has just, and Yanja too, this has been just a delightful experience for us. Carrie was just mentioning, it's amazing the difference that you get when you are seeing pieces that are truly designed by fabric and fashion designers. Your attention to detail has just been amazing. And I've thoroughly enjoyed understanding and getting to know the pieces more intimately and how the drape of it, but really those design details are just amazing. So again, from Great Yarns, from myself and from Carrie, thank you to the two of you and to the audience for sticking with us and coming. Absolutely a pleasure to have you. It's a joy to be a part of Stitches at Home. As you know, we collaborate with Stitches, have for years and years, and we've collaborated with Universal at Stitches Market. So this is the best we can do right now, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
All
all.
right.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.